Hello. In this video, I'm going to talk about my experience of living in UK for quite a long time. Having worked in the healthcare sector for 20 years, I've come across quite few stories, people's life stories. And one thing that surprised me initial phase is the extent of sexual abuse in Western societies. UK is not the only one country. I follow the news around the world, US, Europe, everywhere. The extent of sexual abuse is so common. It's To me, it was a shock. I'm not saying in other countries it is not there, but in developed countries, I thought the extent of sexual abuse will be less. But when I looked at the possible causes, I felt that the few of the development in the Western society, the short-term relationship, the social isolation, like in London, none of the neighbors knows each other. So people can live in their own home for years without knowing who is the next door neighbor. So there's no social integration, and that creates isolation. And we all know isolation creates mental illness, and mental illness creates distorted thinking styles, and quite often that can lead to sexual abuse. um, Men and women both are victims, both could be the victims. And then in last few days, I've been looking at different social media channels, and I can see that in one particular social media, my search page is full of girls in their bikinis. Now, everybody has their freedom, everybody has their choice. But some of those pictures are not just people enjoying their time by the seaside. It is sexually quite explicit. It is intended for sexual purpose. Now, it is available for free. Those girls can say that, okay, it's their choice. I fully accept. But I want to ask you, if a boy on a night out when drunk, or even without drunk, if a boy is watching those kind of images throughout the day, particularly if it is a young boy who has some kind of depression or anxiety or a kind of mental illness, what those videos, pictures are going to create in the mind of that boy. I'm not defending anybody. I am fully saying that every adult, every responsible human being should control their behavior. But it is not straightforward as that. It is not as straightforward as that. If somebody is watching those videos, not everybody, a small proportion, might start thinking that girls are for sexual gratification. And they would expect that all the girls to think the same way. And if they go on to commit a sexual offense, obviously they are the perpetrators, they are the fully responsible. But the people who are posing in certain way that I talked about before, are they not responsible? Are they not fueling that sexual pervasive, perverse, thoughts? So the problem I see, the governments are not trying to control this exploitation of sexual nature. Actually, there's no boundary now. With the mobile phone, it is in hand all the time. And in hand means it goes in the brain. Unless as a society we start stopping, I beg to those girls, think about this way. If your behavior, if it contributed for some another girl's life-changing experience, could be rape, could be murder in extreme cases, think, take responsibility. Think, I know if you're not doing, somebody else will do, but at least if you stop doing it, you are doing your responsibility to keep your other girls safe. And boys, and particularly if boys' parents are saying that their boys are just looking at porn, please take interest in your child's phone. Make sure that you know what they're looking at. There are lots of software that you can use to monitor. As a parent, please control your children's behavior. Otherwise, we will continue to experience this wave, a flood of sexual abuse. Today, we might be hearing somebody's stories. Tomorrow, we can be the victim. It just takes a second for everything to change. So, my request to everybody, please try to make sure that we don't go down that path of destroying ourselves, the society. Thank you for watching.